Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now, here's Jay.
Here's Jay. Good afternoon to everybody out there. This is Jay Kaplan, and this is the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET 1490, where we contemplate retirement and how to best stay prepared for retirement and how to best stay successfully retirement. Well, this is my first time. It's my second time back, but the first time back for the entire show. So I'm likely to get a little wordy, but we'll be, Sean, our engineer, has a hook ready to pull me off whenever need be. So let me repeat what I said at the start of last week's show. Let's be thankful we have friends, and let's stay talking to them. And I am so happy to have you listeners, and thank you so very much for sticking with this show while I have been out on the sidelines. You are very, very appreciated. I also want to thank Sean, our engineer, for doing so much to help while I have been gone. I really missed all of you and missed the activity, really, of doing the show. Here's my little ad here. Please call, email, or visit www.drhecm.drhackham.com, or for us more long-winded people, theeducatedretirementradio.com. You can always just email me. bestloantoday@gmail.com. If you email me or I find out these things like, oh my God, your phone number or anything, I will not be bugging you, believe me. Okay, so just go to my website. I said, slide about halfway down and you'll see YouTube channel with all of the shows. Give a couple days for it to get loaded up. All the old shows, little snippets of shows, and anything I might think is interesting. And also, I have separate sections of just the guest if you had enough of me for a while. So, 866-955-2233, 866-955-2233. Knowledge is power. When it comes to the heck'em, first know the facts, compare the numbers. It's much too important an issue to ignore, and you certainly don't want to eliminate it based on not fully understanding it. Remember that equity availability programs like this are not a belief system. It's not a religion. It's not math. It's flexibility and security that is much warmer than anything math could give you. But we are getting ready to get going. Oh, we want to remind us that I had that contest last week about my beard, and if you're watching on Facebook, I'm using one of those things. It's got a completely fake beard on me that's turquoise and purple, but that's okay. We had that contest for a $50 gift certificate, and before I announced who the winner was, and we did have a winner, there were a few people that called in, and it is overwhelming. Well, it can't be overwhelming with a few people, but anyway, it's keep the beard. Now, I just was never sure of why. It looked to me like it's a bigger hassle, and since it's all white, just like my hair, I would look just all white. But, I've come to the conclusion that maybe that all white covers some ugliness, and maybe that's why it looks better. But I thought some of it was kind of darkening, so I took a closer look, and it was actually just yesterday's lunch. But I guess that happens with beards. Another thing I need to keep a lookout for. But the winner was Jackie Ott. Jackie Ott won the $50 gift certificate, and if she has not yet received it, she should, because it went out in the mail pretty quickly. And just in case you didn't think this program was being listened to worldwide, Jackie lives in Turlock, and so there, anybody that thinks this is a local program. So my day job, I'm just going to skip some of this ad stuff, get rolling. The day job, which you hope I have, and I guess I hope I do too. I am a loan officer at the Loan Source, with an NMLS number of 384565 and a Department of Real Estate. I remember I do not sell real estate, but I can sure hook you up with who does for your area, because each area needs somebody probably a little bit different. But my Department of Real Estate number is 792-630. And remember, on this show, we do believe in challenging the status quo. Families and people need to be active, not reactive. So what is today? What is today, by the way? It is National Food Truck Day. So remember, I'm a little bit older, so for me it means the old roach coach. Remember, Sean, are you old enough to remember that term, roach coach?
Yep, sure do.
All right, that's good. And I love the greasy burgers and such. I just love that stuff. Now it's a big time industry, television shows, and overall I think that's a great thing, since it does allow all of us to be able to sample so many more people's creative cooking, where in the old days I'm sure they would buy everything prepackaged and just heat it up for you. So there are some great food trucks in the past. Helms and the Wienermobile definitely come to mind, but they're not exactly food trucks. But you could buy off the Helms truck. I know my mother did all the time. And of course there's ice cream trucks, and those are still around. And as a little kid, I used to buy off them, and I still think they look good. And there is something called the Space Shuttle Cafe that I think was just recently retired, if at all. It was on Huell Hauser and all that. I got a picture of it anyway. Let's take a look at that picture. So I think it was built from not the space shuttle itself, but from some parts of airplanes and things like that. So anyway, that's one good thing about our past. So with that, let's go ahead and take a break. I've got a great guest for you today, who you'll probably already know. We're going to talk about food, Inland Empire food, and etc. Allan Borgen. Take care. We'll see you in a moment. ET Radio, the Mighty Met, and just a quick reminder, www.drheckham.com, that's drhecm.com, and call me anytime, all the time, even now, but I won't answer right now because I'm on the radio, 866-955-2233. Oh, just in case, let me show that to you here. I think that's good. Okay, now, today's birthday, you know we like birthdays, Peter Lorre. And here's a good picture of Peter before we get rolling too much more. I think I'm holding it right. I'm trying to hold things up a little higher than I used to. I see I held up my phone number too high, but I'll get that because there's a delay. But anyway, there's Peter for you. And Peter was actually born Laszlo Lowenstein. And he starred in over 48 films, and starting in Germany with his very famous film of M, a Fritz Lang film. And that was 1931, and I found a Criterion version of it and actually watched it yesterday. And great photography in that style that, you know. His first English-speaking film was 1934's Hitchcock, The Man Who Knew Too Much. And I have almost like a show and tell thing here, so I don't. There it is, Laserdisc, but that's the old one. And because there was a new one, Hitchcock redid that film in 1956 with Doris Day and James Stewart. Peter Lorre and Sidney Greenstreet co-starred in 9 films together until they decided to break up so as not to become a dramatic Abbott and Costello. I don't see anything wrong with that. I wish they had really done more. I do enjoy that kind of thing. But anyway, he once said the same kind of thing I would probably say, That is, for a lazy man, I work awfully hard. And he also commented that, anyway, I'm looking for, no, right there, Kathleen, please. He also commented, I'm sorry, my helper here. She's usually outer space stuff, and she keeps flicking the light on and off too, but hopefully that makes it interesting. Anyway, back to my thing. He said once about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, he said that the giant octopus got the role usually reserved for him, or for me, is what he actually said. So there's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Here's some Sidney Greenstreet kind of stuff that he did, obviously. This actually, disc set has 3 versions of the same movie. So if you don't know what that is, take a look. And here's an older one. These are great old sets, but at least they're big pictures. The one in here, Mad Love, was he in anything else on here? No, but there's some good ones there. Okay. So, one thing today on Turner Classic Movies, I was watching, just getting ready for this, because I think I've said before, I really enjoy getting ready for the shows when we do this part of it, because the second half I do let the guest run away with it, because that's who we want to hear from. But, I really enjoy going into the history and things like that. So it's some of the best times we have together, my wife and I, especially now that we're not going anywhere. Anyway, so when I woke up in the middle of the night, I saw on Turner, because I guess it's birthday, they're playing Peter Lorre movies all day, Stranger on the Third Floor. Now, I don't think a lot of people know about that film. It's kind of a small film. I don't think very well known, but it's got some great dream sequences, and I really like it, so see if you can find it. But this morning, like I was saying, while we were putting this thing together, I learned something completely new, and it just blowed me away. It was a film called, I can never remember, Scent of Mystery. That's what it said it was. And it started out as Scent of Mystery. It was produced by Michael Todd and even features his wife, Elizabeth Taylor, who has a great big, I think 6 seconds at the end, maybe 8, but there she is starring in it. It was originally released as Scent of Mystery and was the first film to offer Aroma-Rama. And believe it or not, that was something that not even William Castle had. No, not even. And of course, John Waters had those scratch and smell cards. I think I told you I have a Criterion version of Pink Flamingos, I think it is, that has a scratch and sniff card in it. They would put little colors on the screen, and you would scratch the colored patch, and away you would go. But this Aroma-Rama actually blew a certain aroma into the theater. Anyways, it was released. It came back as, whoops, I better do this instead. Well, it doesn't quite work. But came back called Holiday in Spain as a Cinerama production, believe it or not. I guess Cinerama was looking for some new material, and that's what happened. And I guess that's too when all those other people got it. It kind of reminds me of, if you're looking around the world in 80 days, how at the end it gave all of the credits. It's got that to it. It's got sit down entry music. It's got intermission music, and you can really tell how Mike Todd had a lot to do with it when he turned into a Cinerama film. But I was completely blown away by all of that. But as you know, I get blown away pretty easily. So, who else has a birthday today? One of my all-time great directors, Paul Thomas Anderson. And before we really get into Paul, and the great films that he's left us with or given us, or, you know, he ain't gone yet. He popped in 1970, so he's just a kid. But I want to talk about somebody that's really, really almost more interesting and says a lot about where the talent of Paul Thomas Anderson came from. His father was named Ernie Anderson and was the voice of ABC, a lot of the ABC programs. He was a disc jockey and an actor, and most importantly, was a character named Gulari, the precursor to Elvira and Svengoolie. Except for those of us who are so old that we are old enough to remember Vampira. Now, just in case you're not familiar with Svengoolie, first of all, if you're not familiar with Svengoolie, what happened to your culture? Okay? Now, I have a lot of old people friends who watch this, and some young ones too. Svengoolie is on MeTV, and MeTV has a lot of that older stuff, but still, he's on there all the time. And like I said, late night horror B-movie presenter in Cleveland, Ohio, who is known to say certain things like, this movie is so bad you should just go to bed. He made fun of a lot of targets, non-hip targets such as Lawrence Welk. And there is Lawrence Welk. I got, you know, oh, look at that. Let me see if anyway, I had to find, I just happened to find that and play it. It's pretty neat. It's whatever, we can talk about it another time. Decorating front lawns with pink flamingos, and I think I'm going long here on pink flamingos, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a minute, and I got to speed up the way I talk, so have a good time, and see you in a minute or two. All right, here we are again, and I got to slip through. There's a picture of Gulari, and I've got a bunch of stuff to show, but I'm probably going to skip most of it. Now, Jim Jarmusch, who you may or may not be aware of, I certainly am, who watched Gulari as a child, was greatly influenced by the attitude of the show, selections of the movies, and the weird music. So, I don't know if you remember Stranger Than Paradise. Many of us do. It was kind of a breakout film for him and featured John Lurie and the Lounge Lizards. And one of the last shows of Anthony Bourdain featured John Lurie, looking so much older, as he should, as a major factor in the history of Greenwich Village. I kind of took that personally and really enjoyed that. I'm going to show you as soon as we get them out. Please, and here's a couple of Lounge Lizards albums that I have and have had, and I'm going to show you that's what he used to look like, and that's what he does look like, but so be it. I'll show you some other stuff if we have time at the end, but PTA, as he's called, Paul Thomas Anderson, started making movies with his video camera at 8 years old, then on to 8mm. He used money earned by cleaning cages and pet stores to put on his first real film production in high school. Films such as Boogie Nights was 1997, and that kind of harkens back to his high school movie we just mentioned, named The Dirk Diggler Story. A documentary, or a mockumentary actually, about a porn star inspired by John Holmes, just like Boogie Nights. And he grew up, after all, in San Fernando Valley. Cigarettes and Coffee, 1993, was made for $10,000 from gambling winnings, his birthday's contribution, his girlfriend's contributions, and money that his father had set aside for his college. There Will Be Blood, we all seem to remember. I thought it was a great film, and I read a couple articles getting ready for this that called that the best movie of the 21st century, and I don't even think we're done with the 21st century yet. He also did Phantom Thread, The Master, Inherent Vice, which I gotta really recommend. I loved the movie, and it's hard to find a lot of other people that have even heard of it. And I think it was really a towering vision of the Los Angeles and Hollywood of that period, featuring a great performance by Joaquin Phoenix, who also did a great job in one of TA's other film, The Master. And I think I may have said this before, but, we stayed my wife and I went to see a UFO film, and we stayed at the Ace Hotel downtown LA, and they have turntables and records in the rooms, and I found this. That was my first I had already seen the movie, so I really enjoyed that. I asked them how much I could buy it for. They gave it to me. I found this one at a regular record store afterwards with such things as sukiyaki from that period of time. And I think us oldies remember that one. So that is about as much time as we want to leave now before getting a hold of our great guest, Allan Borgen. And with that, I will sign off with that. And Sean, take it away when you like. With my favorite music there for the show. Welcome back to the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET. And please, you may want to join the conversation today with Allan Borgen, who represents food. Not the same food that made me the size I used to be. I think I told you I lost 40 pounds in the last couple of months. Anyway, you may want to join the conversation, ask him some questions. Remember, 951-922-3532. Let me try to say it like Sean would over again. 951-922-3532.
Just like him.
Just like, anyway, our guest is a very dear friend who has not been a guest on this show before, but has been on other networks. And I have had that honor before. Allan Borgen is a name that many of you probably already know. He's a big macha, as we say, in the food industry. Let me say the eating industry. There's sometimes a difference between those two, and a lot of it in the Inland Empire. So he has had shows on many different radio stations and television stations, including PBS. He is also the creator and host of the Grub Club, which I think maybe he can tell you about. And I'm just going to show a couple videos real quick so that I can stop yapping, because, it's hard to get me to stop. So I might as well get it all in. I'm just going to show you a couple of videos that he has done that are very, very good. And he might want to tell you how and where to get those and that kind of thing. So now I will put that plug in my face and get back to Allan. So go ahead, Allan, say hello.
Hello, good to see you. You look good. I know you're trying to copy me. I'm your mentor, I know.
Yeah, you've got that beard, which is dark, and mine is not. But,
Yeah,
what can I say,
So how are you doing? Doing good?
I think I'm doing all right. I have been, been recuperating.
Right.
And getting better, and hopefully we'll be all better in a bit. I have another piece of surgery or so to go, but hopefully that's an outpatient thing, so that, but so be it. It was a lot to go through, so
You look good.
I look better. I'm not sure if good is the correct word, but I will accept
You look
better.
healthy. You look good.
Well, okay, I'll take that as a compliment.
It is.
As it is. And you look great, too. So I know we used to be on the same station, and you were on the show several times, and they were always great conversations. And I know you always seem to turn the conversation back around to what I do, which is reverse mortgages, and I thank you for that. But we don't need to do that. We got plenty of time in the future. Hopefully you'll be on a lot more shows.
Oh, definitely.
So I want to get into the food. You are Mr. Foodie, correct?
Yeah, can't you tell? Yeah, I've been doing it for, I want to say about 26 years, way before the Food Network and all this other stuff going on now. And everyone thinks it's all about getting free meals, and it's so not true. That's why I hate Yelp and other things. Most of these people don't know food, and all they want is free. And that's not what I'm about, and I've never have been. And my whole goal is for people to have food orgasms and support. There's some great little restaurants out there that don't have a lot of money to market themselves, and any way I can help them, that's my goal.
Yeah, I pay no attention to Yelp at all, because somebody, even a great restaurant, someone could go in there and have a bad time and a bad meal, because it does happen every now and then.
Right.
And I don't want everything to be just based on one time.
Right.
And so poop on Yelp, and poop is okay on this station.
Well, the bad thing about Yelp is a lot of people, I don't know who they are. Most of them don't know food, I hate to say. And B, I've heard all kinds of scams in terms of them, kind of like large, just putting a gun to restaurant owners, head to advertise with them. And if they don't, then they bring the bad reviews up, and the good ones go down. And I've heard horror stories. And anyway, that's what Yelp's about. But I use them only to some good restaurants, and that's it. I don't read reviews. New ones I don't know about. So that's it.
Yeah, so I like to cook, but I'm not a great cook. I'm an okay cook, which reminds me, because, we're kind of ad-libbing most of this. I remember one day you said, when I was ready to buy a grill or a barbecue for the outdoors, to talk to you. And I don't know if I am or not, but I do know that because of my situation. But I do know it's the beginning of the summer-ish, and there's probably a lot of listeners that want to know that. So if you want to get into this show, that's fine. Or if not, we can schedule it another show, because I think it's something that people want to know about. Yeah, thought of that as we were rolling off.
Depends, I think, on how you want to use it and how much you want to use it for. And, for a beginner, I like Master Built. They've been, you can buy them at big box stores, but they have some great products. I really like them. The new one, it's the MES 440. It's stainless steel. They also have a black one. But what's nice about it, they have an element of cooking element on top and also on the bottom. So
that's
smoke, and you can cook from the bottom. So it's a regular oven basically. And on top, you can finish it up. So if it's not ribs or burgers, you want to bark on it, you put it on top there and turn it on. It's like a broiler oven, and it's easy to use, very easy to use. It's great customer support.
I like that, easy to use, because that means easy to eat.
Yeah, well, right. Most smokers are easy to use, most of them, once you know it, but some things like the Big Green Egg, or I prefer the Vision Grill is another one. If you like a Komodo type of grill, I think it's better. It's not as pricey, and you get a lot more bang for your buck, and it's just like the Big Green Egg, which was kind of like the first one out really marketing themselves, but I think it's overhyped.
Now, what is that? I see it everywhere, and it looks to me like it's just an elongated Weber.
Well, it's porcelain. It's real heavy duty.
It's thicker, so it keep the heat in probably, but so, you know.
So it kind of acts like a tandoori oven in a lot of ways. You can bake with it. You can do all kinds of stuff on, pizzas, whatever. And what's nice, you can control the heat to real low to real high. And it's kind of like a convection oven. The air comes from up from the top and circulates out the top, off from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Top. So it's like a convection oven. They're very good, but like I said, the Vision Grill is my favorite. They come in a lot more. They have different things that you can do to them. Traeger you can make them.
Vision.
Wood chips, pellets. You can do all kinds of stuff with it.
Oh yeah, you like those Traeger things, wood chips, or?
Well, I use pellets. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got about 6 smokers. They keep sending them to me to try them out.
Yeah, why not?
They're all different and they're all unique. But for an entry level, I would say a Master Built. My go-to one, I use that a lot for small stuff. For bigger items, entertaining, you want something a little more professional, I would go for the Cook Shack. It's
Cook Shack.
Yeah, it's a big company. You can buy, restaurants. A lot of restaurants use them, but they have a model for the home, and it's excellent. You just press the buttons and you let it go. It does a great job.
Wow. So now, do any of those, or do all of those, the last ones you said, use those little pellets that Traeger came out with, or maybe they weren't the first, but they were the first that made themselves known to me. And is there advantage to that?
No, it's easy because it's pretty, you can control the temperature and it's pretty consistent. I like smoke on my meats.
Yeah.
And you don't get, the pellets are just wood shavings, sawdust of wood. They use, like the last one I did was it was hickory, cherry, and maple woods.
Yeah. I can see that Sean has all of your contact information up there. It's because Sean had already heard of you. Everybody's heard of you in earshot of this station. I mean, you're a legend, right? So,
but I've been doing...
for those people, the 2,000 or 3,000 of them that are not watching, go ahead and give your information. We'll do it again later, but go ahead and give all your contact information out.
Right. Well, the website is letsdineoutshow.com, although it redirects you to letsdineinshow.com, which is my...
Well, in or out, what does it matter? As long as you're eating, right?
Unless that's a different matter.
Okay.
In terms of the TV show, it's been on hiatus for a while, but now with the virus calming down, hopefully I'll be able to do some shooting of it. But it's on the Let's Dine Out show. It's on Empire TV, KBCR. It's on DirecTV, it's on cable. It's all over Dish. It's on Thursday nights at 6, Saturday at 5:30, and once the pandemic gets better, it'll be on Tuesday mornings again. But
so you're a veritable television magnate.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it my 26th year on TV, I think.
25
years. The radio station is AM 1050. So Friday, every Saturday and Sunday from 4 to 5, live show like yours. And basically, it's all about doing reviews of local restaurants and just food, anything to do with food and gadgets and stuff. And my new thing I'm working on is called the Big Bite Stuff, BITE stuff, like the right stuff, the bite stuff.
Oh,
and
okay.
Products like this is one of my favorite ones. Do you like pickle juice? Or you like pickles?
I love pickles, and you know what? You made me some pickles yourself, and they were great.
Would you like drinking the juice from pickles?
I'll tell you, one of the very overlooked ingredients to a great Bloody Mary is pickle juice. I know some places in LA that use them, like the Little Easy and places like that, that will use pickle juice, and it makes a difference.
It's called Van Houten, and they have the pickles in like what do you call it, a tube type of thing, plastic tube. You can buy them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They are actually popsicles. What you do, and they're pickle popsicles. But they also make in bottles mixes for Bloody Marys and stuff.
Oh yeah, so
my new website, I'm going to be doing products that you can buy on the internet.
Is it up yet?
Not yet. No, it'll be another couple of months away probably. But
you can announce it though, so people can look for
the bite stuff. And my website, if you want to get a hold of me on Facebook, it's Mr. Foodie 1, or Allan Borgen. That's my personal one, is Allan Borgen. And the website is letsdineoutshow.com, and I'm all over the place. And again, it's all about food, just making people fat and happy. That's my goal.
And if anybody would be interested in those videos that you have, they're both about people with diabetes, like yours truly here.
Right, me too.
And how to best get along. In fact, yesterday I had a meeting with a dietitian. And they showed to me that my problem is that I have not been eating enough carbohydrates, and that's why I get low blood sugar once in a while. So sometimes we hear this advice, we go off on a tangent, and it's not always right. You have to talk to people who know. Not only do you know, but you know food and what we like to eat. So
a diabetic diet is actually a hard, healthy diet. Everyone should be eating the same way as a diabetic should be eating. And if I had to do it over, I probably would have changed the name to it. But when I was not diagnosed, there was nothing out there. Everything was read, lecture. And I thought, wait a minute, I want to see.
Right.
And there was no video. So my video is basically, it's all real. It's not talking heads or anything. It's talk about meal planning ahead, Mexican food, Chinese food, Italian food, and American food, things you can eat when you order.
I can't, I'm listening for something I don't like, but I don't hear it yet. So keep going.
Well, I try to talk about things you can eat and just educate people. And, it's chapter by chapter from talk about complex carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, nutritional stuff,
Uh-huh.
portion control and stuff like that. So that's one of my DVDs. The other one is diabetic. It's very important to take care of your feet, especially for diabetics, because about 86% or 87%, I think it's higher now, of amputations from diabetics occur because people don't take care of their feet. I did a DVD, everything you can do and take.
Yeah, that's one of those DVDs I just showed. Now, I don't have any problems so far on my feet, except when I was in the hospital and not walking around, and at home for 3 weeks after and not walking around, and they fed me so much intravenous. They wouldn't let me eat or even drink water for over a week. I was allowed to lick an ice cube as long as somebody was there to make sure I didn't drink it. But the point is they gave me so much hydration that my feet became as big as my head.
Wow.
And I got afraid about the diabetes thing, but it wasn't. And then it lasted that way for almost 2 weeks. Then, like overnight, it was normal.
Good.
It was crazy. It was normal. And my wife likes to tickle my feet all the time. So even when she comes anywhere around, I feel that sensation. So I know that my feet are still okay. My brain, that's another story, but I'll let you talk about that.
A long time. But, yeah, people are interested. They can just give me a call. My phone number is 909. They can call me anytime. 909-910-3463. And happy to work out an arrangement with me. They're only $10 each, so it's pretty cheap. And my goal is to get people, I want to get them fat and happy, and then once they have diabetes. Wow, but I believe in healthy eating now. As we get older, we better do it.
The other thing I found out yesterday, now one thing, I used to eat a 2-pound steak by myself.
Wow.
And I can't anymore, obviously, but there is something wrong with that, because the enzymes and things, it really, it takes a lot out of your pancreas. But other kinds of protein, fish and this and that, and whatever, do not. And what this woman told me yesterday was, don't get all filled on more and more carbohydrates. If you feel like you need more, just eat more fish or chicken or whatever you're eating, but just eat another 3 or 4 pounds of it, and a little bit of carbs to go with it to balance it, and then you won't be hungry. So
yeah, I lost about 47 pounds on the low carb diet, and low carb diet really works, and it's very easy to follow. And to be honest, everything's up here. You can be on any diet, but your mind, if you're not ready. But I've got to watch to increase my carbs, because once in a while I get the low blood sugar thing, and I am temporarily on insulin now because of the drugs I'm taking and the antibiotics, and I'll probably be back on pills. And they say if you're on insulin, it can happen more often. So hopefully I'll be off insulin in a bit. You're not on insulin, are you? No, I take medications, but
yeah.
There's a new thing I'm trying now. It's called 60 Up, and it's for people. Sometimes my balance is a little bit awkward, so that's what it's for. Basically, is helping your balance, and it's fantastic. I went to a gym a couple times, and they have.
You went to a gym?
I used to. I went by it. I go by it every week.
Okay, I understand.
But I go, and they have these big medicine balls and all these things to try to help you with balance and coordination. But this thing is strictly for that. I think Bob Barker pushes it on TV, but it really works well, and I really like it. So if you have any balance problems, I would highly recommend 60, the number 60 Up, and you can find them on the website, internet.
Oh, okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I've been accused of being way off balance my whole life, and I think that's still true. Now, I don't think I have a balance problem, but I get dizzy a lot.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a baby. And at first I used to think this was normal. No matter what I seem to ever do, if I stop and look straight up, I start getting dizzy, but kind of dizzy in both directions at the same time. And I really think that that's cool. So if there's any medical people out there that understand what that is, let me know. I've told a lot of doctors about it, and they just said, oh yeah, sure. See you around. So, but I think it's cool. Especially the going in both directions at the same time. I think that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so let's, before the time goes by, because it's going by, always goes by too fast. Let's get into Grub Club. And is that still going strong? I mean, I've been out of the picture, and of course with the lockdown, but know, that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it and really plug it.
Well,
Because the times I was going, I had a great time, and I don't mean to keep yapping, but I just want to say I had a great time on all of those occasions.
well, for young, old, married, single, it's all for foodies. And my goal is for the people to get people into restaurants and try good restaurants and a good tasting of it. So usually it's anywhere from 10 to 15 items you try, tax, tip, and a non-alcohol beverage, all included. And it's either $65 a person, or sometimes if they have lobster or more, it's a higher restaurant would do $69. But
It's not expensive. I'll just show them that if it sounds expensive to you, it's not, because you get a lot of food. And depending on the restaurant, I know all of them are like that, but some of them you get to take home that much worth of money.
most of them are most people. But that's what I want. I want to try it. I mean, for a restaurant, that's the best thing they could do is bring foodies in and try it. And that's what we try to do.
Right.
And we have anywhere 50 to 117 people. So again,
and they're a lot of fun. You get to know some people. If you don't want to, you can sit over there or whatever. But usually it's a great gathering.
Great way to meet people, and they're all foodies. So if you go on the letsdineoutshow.com, you'll see a little thing out there, and you can press it. Right now, we don't have any new ones.
No, well, that's because of the lockdown thing. It's hard to eat through a mask. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I have my shirt. That's why I wear shirts like this. Like, where's Waldo? I stains on them and everything.
Yeah, I used to, when I first got my first mask, it was an N95 type. Those are, I don't know if you've had one of those, but they are not easy to breathe through at all. So I had to cut a hole in it to make sure that I could stick a cigar through there. So that worked out fine. So,
Yeah, no, you do what you got to do. So much controversy, and people are stupid, and I don't care if they kill themselves, but just don't kill others. That's my thing.
Right. But maybe we could invent a mask that's a little bit thicker, that has like like on spaceships, they have that area where you go in and you let out the old air and bring in, so it's so you can put a bite of food in this chamber that, all the old air goes out, the new air goes in and opens towards you, like a decompression chamber or something like that,
Probably our mask you can eat, or they have holes in it for like straws.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, as long as you can close it off otherwise, but yeah. Now, other than that, most people don't like wearing masks. Me, it just makes me look better, so it's different. But that's, So tell us about your adventures on the next shows you have, and the TV you say that's coming.
Restaurants are surviving. The old ones that were crappy anyway, they're going out of business, which is fine with me. But there's a lot of new restaurants opening up. There's one called the Rustic Fork in Riverside. That's fantastic.
Wow. I was going to say, give us some good. I'm trying to make this show a 3-hour show. I don't think Sean will let us. But if there's time, give us some recommendations.
Well, in Riverside, it's called the Rustic Fork. It's excellent. Another one I like is called Roy's, RUI_S, Shanghai Bistro. It's in Redlands. It's very good Shanghai type of food, Chinese food. If you go on the website on YouTube, it's Let's Dine Out CA, like California. Let's Dine Out CA. We have a channel there, and you can see a lot of the reviews that we've done.
All right, yeah.
I only do favorites I like. If I don't like the restaurant, I review them. I just want, so everything you see, myself and my wonderful co-host, Isabel Bussey, her and I, we're honest. If something needs more garlic, but these are restaurants that we've been to that we like, or I follow from people who really know food. I'll listen to them. They're not Yelpers. They know food. So
we're not just fat people like I have been some, because they'll eat anything, right?
True.
I used to eat anything, so now at least I can look forward to, I think, being more selective.
Yeah, no, I think we all are as we get older, but I think the food's becoming better, especially in the Inland Empire. It's really becoming good. A lot of good restaurants are opening up. The other thing, there's a lot of it's called home kitchens. It's all licensed by the health department and licensed by businesses and stuff, cities. And there's one called Tardka, Tardka, on Facebook. You can find them, and basically it's Indian food, and they deliver. Live in the Empire. Very, very good food. I mean, it's better than most Indian restaurants.
Wow.
Cali Tardka, Tardka.
Wow, that's good to know.
You know,
That's very good to know. Now, are any of these restaurants we're talking, are they open for dine-in? And if they are, do they have any kind of precautions in place? Like I've noticed in LA, I'm not in LA, but I mean, I follow restaurants all across Southern California if I can. There's one place like in Silver Lake, which is really an upcoming, actually, it's already up, but they have like little greenhouses for each table. I thought that was kind of cool.
that's very neat. Yeah, I've been to many restaurants since it's opened and last couple of weeks. And yeah, they like a place called Pinnacle Peak. What they do, they take a thermometer testing. Everyone requires you to have a mask on, and then you walk inside. Once you're seated, then basically you can take the mask off, obviously. And all the servers I've seen in restaurants, they all wear gloves and they all wear we went to a restaurant in Menifee called Provecho Grill, and tremendous Mexican food. Probably one of the top.
Could you say that again? I dropped out on my end.
Provecho, Provecho Grill.
Okay, because I've got some friends that live out there.
Spectacular food. We were just here last night, and again, everyone wears gloves and masks, and the table are all, it's about half of the occupancy, so you may have to wait a little bit, but
but worth it. Well worth it.
I really love those places. So just start supporting restaurants. They need help, as all businesses do. But
yeah. Well, they've been hit awfully hard. Movie theaters, I can't imagine what they're going through, but I don't know what they have to make it. But there's so many mom and pop restaurants. These are usually smaller operations,
right?
And those are the things you really have to hope and because we love them, right?
But also, I heard businesses, like a lot of the businesses I've talked to are doing very well. Home improvement, anything with do with home improvement. You go to Lowe's or a restaurant or Home Depot, my God, they're packed. But
I
also,
know people are home fixing their stuff, but unfortunately they're over in Lowe's without masks on. But because I was over there the other day.
Oh, really?
Oh, I think we only got about a minute left, and I'm sorry. So you're going to have to come back real soon.
Oh,
but in that minute, please give us your contact information one more time.
At letsdineoutshow.com. On Facebook, you can find me at Allan, Allan Borgen, Borgen, my personal one, or Let's Dine Out Show on Facebook. And on YouTube, it's Let's Dine Out CA, like California. And you'll find all the new ones with myself and my co-host, Isabel Bussey.
That's great. And I think it's time to sign off. So thank you so much, Allan. I really miss you, too, during this time where we can't see each other. But I talked about Gulari earlier today, who was the father of the great director, Paul Thomas Anderson. One of the things he would say on his show was, nostalgia ain't what it used to be. Think about that a little. And Kaplan will be here on the same corner in front of the same cigar store next week. And thank you, Allan. And thank you, Sean, and all of the listeners. Take care of yourselves.
Happy eating. Bye-bye.